Let's just shift for a moment to Putin macro, Ukraine. What do you think Putin has in mind in Ukraine? Why did he invade Ukraine?
One of the things which I discovered in this period of time that I wrote about in my book was that the money that was stolen that Sergei Magnitsky had uncovered, the corruption scheme, which was $230 million, Putin was a beneficiary of. And one of the other things we discovered is that this was one of 1,000 similar crimes, which totaled $230 billion. And the other thing that we discovered was that this was just what we could identify in a certain small group of Scandinavian banks. And there's Austrian banks and German banks and other banks probably doing the same thing for Russian money launderers. And so I estimate that Putin has stolen from the Russian people over a 22-year period for himself and for the people around him, the 1,000 people around him, $1 trillion. And that's money that should have been spent on healthcare, on schools, on potholes in the roads and public services of all kinds, was spent on private jets and yachts and villas in the south of France. And I believe that after 22 years of doing this, the Russian people were getting pretty fed up. And I don't know what the spark would have been to light it all on fire, but I think that Putin was afraid that he had effectively a totally combustible situation there. And if he didn't do something proactively, he would be sitting in the Kremlin and 1 million people would march on Red Square. And so what does he do? He starts a war. And he starts this war in Ukraine, not because he hates Ukraine, not because he wants to rebuild the Russian Empire, not because of NATO enlargement. He starts this war because he needs a foreign enemy, and he needs a foreign enemy to keep the people from being mad at him. And so I believe this war in Ukraine is necessary for Putin to stay in power. And I believe that no matter what some countries might push Zelensky to compromise on, none of them will work, because the only thing that's going to work in Vladimir Putin's eyes is to be at war. And for what it's worth, if it's not Ukraine, it'll be the Baltics next, which are NATO countries. And so I think it's very important that everyone understands what this war is all about, because if we understand what it's about, then we might have some idea of what to do about it.